Hey guys, I wanted to give you a little help video for using the quadratic formula. So I'm going to go through three of these with you. And let's go ahead and start with this first one. We're going to be using the quadratic formula. So you can see the formula up here in the upper right corner. Um, and the first thing we want to make sure is that we have our quadratic set equal to 0. So for this first one, it already has equal to 0. So we're good to go. It says equals 0. So the first thing we want to start with is getting the discriminant part done. The discriminant is the part inside the square root. So that part is right here. The b squared minus 4ac. Okay, so let's go ahead and write down our values. A is 2, b is negative 3, and c is negative 35. So for our discriminant, we would have negative 3 squared minus 4 times 2 times negative 35. And I'm just plugging in my A, B's, and C's in the correct locations. And we can go ahead and take care of this. Negative 3 squared, that is positive 9. Negative 4 times 2 times negative 35. That's positive 280. I add these up and I get 289. What's important is to look at that number. And since I have a positive discriminant answer, I know I need to continue and finish the problem. I'm going to have two solutions. So let's go ahead and finish the rest. Next, I'm going to plug in. Need to plug in, excuse me, guys. Hit a wrong button there. Need to plug in the negative b. So notice that my b value is negative 3. So when I plug that in, negative of negative 3, that becomes a positive 3. Then we have our plus or minus sign, our square root, and we already figured out the discriminant. So we don't need to do anything but write the 289 right there. All over 2a, so 2 times 2. From here, let's go ahead and square root that. So square root of 289 is 17. And I can split this up to get my two solutions. I would have 3 plus 17 divided by 4, and I'm getting this 4 by multiplying 2 times 2. It's not always going to be 4. It depends on what the 2a is. I also have 3 minus 17 divided by 4. So all I did is I separated that plus or minus sign into two separate parts. Go ahead and take care of this. 3 plus 17 is 20. Divided by 4 is 5. So there's one of my solutions. 3 minus 17 is negative 14. Divided by 4. And I get positive 3.5. And those are my two solutions using the quadratic formula. All right, let's go ahead and look at another one. Let's look at the second one. 5x squared equals 12x plus 9. Now, first thing is I better be certain that I have this set equal to 0. And this is not set equal to 0. So I'm actually going to move both of those values to the left because I prefer to keep a positive a value. So I'm going to minus 12x on both sides, and I'm going to minus 9 on both sides. Now that's going to leave me with 0 on the right, and I need to put this information in the correct order. So remember, it goes x squared part first, then our x, then our constant equals 0. So I'm going to start my quadratic formula. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Let's do the discriminant part first. So let's get our a, b, and c. A is 5, b is negative 12, and c is negative 9. So for my discriminant, I have the inside part here, okay, the b squared minus 4ac. So I have negative 12 squared minus 4 times 5 times -9. Plugging in my B here, my A here, my C here. Let's do the math. -12 squared is 144. We have -4 times 5 times -9, excuse me. I get positive 180. Add 144, and I get 324. The important thing to see here is I, again, have a positive discriminant. So I need to continue the problem. I'm going to have two solutions. Okay? So, let's start. Negative B. Once again, my B value is a negative value, so I have -12. Well, negative of -12 becomes positive 12. Plus or minus. We already found our answer for the discriminant part, so it's that 324. I put it there. All over 2a. So 2 times 5. Let's get our square root. So the square root of 324 is 18. And I can do my problem. I have 12 plus 18 divided by 10. Remember, I'm getting this 10 because I went 2 times 5. And I'm getting 12 minus 18 divided by 10. So add this, I get 30 divided by 10, which is 3. There's one of my solutions. And I get -6 divided by 10, which is -0.6. That's my other solution. Okay. One last example. So let's look here. Again, it's not set equal to 0. So the first thing I better do is I better set this equal to 0. Add 12 to both sides. And make sure you put it in the correct order. I have 3x squared plus 7x plus 12 equals 0. And I'm going to start my quadratic formula. Okay, negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Get my a, b, and c. A is 3, b is 7, c is 12. And I do it. The discriminant, 7 squared minus 4 times a times c. 7 squared is 49. I have 4 times 3 times 12, -4, times 3 times 12. And I get -144. I subtract those, and I get -95. Well, that's a problem, okay? I have a negative discriminant. There's no reason to do any more. I cannot do this with a negative discriminant. I have 0 solutions. My answer is the empty set. Okay? So those are 3 example problems that you can use to hopefully help you use quadratic formula. You guys have a good day.